I'm actually shocked that we're managing to get out of here on time today. 7 o'clock. We need to be walking out the door right now. Good morning. This is a very special day. It is IUI day. Are you excited?
Yeah.
We're ready to go. This is the first time on a TTC video where I'm like headed to the fertility doctor with Brandon because I did not really have him come with me to any of my other appointments because it's really unnecessary. It just wasn't necessary for him to be like 2 to 3 hours late for work on those other days when he, you know, would have just been sitting there for a 10-minute appointment because those ultrasounds are so fast. It's exciting though because he can come with me today because he has to do his part this morning, and that is what, like an hour and a half before the actual IUI process. So I think we're gonna probably stop and get breakfast. Maybe. No. Okay. We just dropped Sebastian off at Morgan's house. She's just been amazing with these like last minute appointments because I really can't set the appointment, the doctor has to, and she has been able to watch him and take care of him. So it's lovely that we have her as a friend. And her husband, we just saw him, he works with Brandon, so it just works out. But yeah, right now we're driving down to Atlanta, and I'm getting really excited and nervous. Are you getting nervous, or you're fine? You're always fine. You never have any kind of nerves about anything. You probably weren't even nervous to propose, were you?
Nope.
Yep, always cool. Because we are together, which is unusual, one, on the vlog, and two, during the daytime, I figured we could do like a little Q&A. So I put a question bubble on my Instagram just now and said you guys could ask me whatever you want, me and Brandon, and it didn't have to, it could be related to like fertility stuff, or it could be about anything. So I figured we could answer 3 questions right now because they're starting to roll in, and then maybe we'll do like 3 or more depending on what kind of time we have while we wait till 10 for my part of the appointment, and then maybe some on the drive back. So it'll just kind of be like a throughout the vlog Q&A. Sound fun?
Cool.
All right. So the first question we're gonna answer, it says, what made you decide to have a try at another baby? My hubby and I are trying to decide.
I don't know, I think it just felt like it was time, more so than anything. I don't know if a big decision went into it, more so than it was, you know, I think we knew the complications we had the first time, and knowing that there's a possibility it could take longer depending on, you know, many factors, but, you know, I think it was just time.
He hit the nail on the head. For us, it's about working around football, and it's about working around the PCOS. So we didn't want the kids to be too far apart that they wouldn't be able to bond when they get older. I'm 7 years older than my sister, so I know, and 9 years older than my brother, and I didn't want the age gap to be that big. And there's never really a good time. You just kind of do it and go with it and hope for the best. And I knew I also didn't want to be giving birth well into my 30s. I wanted to kind of get it done and be over. Are these types of infertility treatments covered by most major insurances, or is it out of pocket? So I really don't know. I can't really speak for other people's insurance companies because I just don't know if most major insurance companies cover it or not.
It truly just depends on your insurance. Like a lot, like ours is covered, but the IUI itself,
the IUI is not covered.
It's still very expensive.
Yeah, so yeah. IUIs are expensive, and certain medications are expensive. Some of it is not. Like I think the metformin, I think you need to get over.
I am.
Yeah, the metformin I believe is covered, and I've only paid like $3 for it. But the Femera is not, because I'm using it for off-label purposes, if that makes sense. And I don't need it. The ultrasounds are covered. There is a copay, but that's about it, because those I think fall under like that preventative or like wellness. But the major stuff like the IUIs or the HSG, which I didn't have to do this go around, but we did last time, which is when they put dye up your tubes, that's not covered. The IUI is not covered, and the like the genetic testing and stuff like that, that's not covered either. So it gets very pricey, and you just kind of have to suck it up and realize like if you want this baby and this is your only option, you just have to do it. All right, this is a question I get a lot, so I'll just go ahead and knock this one out of the way now. Do you want another boy or would you want a girl? Good luck with everything. I'll let you answer first.
Oh, I don't care. I don't have a preference. Never have. I don't think I ever will.
Brandon doesn't have a preference, and it's funny because I always thought that he would have wanted a boy when we had Bash, and then like I think midway through my pregnancy or toward the end, he was like, I would have been cool if it was a girl too. I think you all know where I stand at this point, but I'm cool either way because this has been such a struggle. Any healthy baby would be just like a dream come true. But if I had to choose, I would like to have a girl because we already have a boy. I want a mini-me, but if we don't, that's okay because Bash will have a best friend and a little brother, and we'll adopt a girl, and my dreams will come true either way. So. We've been here together in a long time, have we?
Wow, that sucks. Going through with Bash.
It's been like 3 years. I'm getting nervous. You're supposed to offer the people around you.
Your birthday's next.
Yours does?
No, it's not.
No, it doesn't. Only when you eat bananas.
Hello. I'm good. How are you today?
I'm just waiting for Brandon's appointment to end. Obviously, I can't show you what happens in his appointment, but you guys can come into the room with me during mine.
From you?
Yeah. How'd it go?
Cool.
Good. Flying Biscuit. Love this place. We used to come here all the time when I was pregnant with Bash.
Fear, it's leaving now. I waited here, but nothing came.
Oh my gosh. We just crushed that food. I couldn't even show you like the remnants of what we left over. It was so savage and gross looking, but it was delicious. I'm very thirsty. By the way, I think that is a symptom of the Femera, or a side effect, extreme thirst. I am always thirsty, and I have been since I started taking the medication. So that would have been something I talked about if I had made that video. But anyway, it's more questions time now that we're back in the car. I'll try to blaze through like the quick ones really quick. Like, how did you meet? We met in high school. I transferred to his school for senior year after having gone to a private school my whole life, and I wanted to do a public school, and my parents finally said yes after begging, and I met him while I was there, but we didn't reconnect until like almost senior year of college. So we just kind of, that's how we met, but we didn't date until college. A lot of people ask that. Other people asked, what is an IUI? And that is an intrauterine insemination. So I do want to explain this really quickly just because people have asked. A lot of times people will do an IUI if there's a male factor issue, male factor being like his swimmers. There is not a male factor issue in our case. I just want better odds, and they can get it closer to where I'm ovulating from than if we just let them swim on their own. So that's why we do it. Also, they juice them up and make them really like fidgety and ready to swim versus when it's just you at home. So it's just a lot more helpful. How did I find out that I had PCOS? I found out through a blood test because I wasn't having regular cycles, and I just finally, me and my gynecologist were like, we need to figure out why I'm not having them. And I didn't find out until we were trying to have Bash. Since I was in middle school, had been having irregular cycles, and no one really tried to figure out why. Does IUI hurt? No. Will you film your 2-week wait symptoms pregnancy test reaction? Yes, I will. And I've never been one to film pregnancy tests. As you guys know, I've taken a couple during this whole, since I got my IUD out, and I did not film, well, I filmed them, but I didn't upload them. But I will upload the results no matter what happens, just because this process has been a little bit different than just trying at home. Best advice for newlyweds with typical and non-typical work schedule / hours. We're not newlyweds, but we definitely have the second part of that question for sure. Do you have any advice?
When you're at home, be at home, or when you're together, be together. You know,
be very present.
Kind of use home as your time to unwind and just focus on being with your partner and don't worry about what's going on outside of the home.
Yeah, it's not necessarily about the quantity of time, but the quality of time you spend. So your kids will feel that way as well. Just make sure that you're present when you are spending the time together. How do you find time for each other with a baby and Brandon traveling a lot? Like, I get asked that a lot, and how do I find time to like be intimate and stuff with Brandon being gone and with Bash? But we've never had an issue as far as making time for it. The baby will always go to sleep at some point. So whether, and I think I've talked about this in a like a relationship video, it may not be that romantic like passion where, you know, you've prepared your bedroom for, you know, the ultimate romantic night. It may not be like that, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's not good. You know what I mean? Sometimes it just has to be really quick and somewhere unconventional, you know, if your kids are awake or something. Or then obviously, like, you make time, you put it on the schedule, and you plan date nights as well. So get a babysitter or get someone who you trust to watch your kids and have a date night and make time to be alone with your spouse. For me, there's no, like, it's not negotiable at all. When you are home, like, we're like, you know, we have to carve out this time for just each other. You agree? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Did your PCOS go away during pregnancy? No and yes, I guess. No in the grand scheme, no, because PCOS is incurable. But yes, in the sense that I only experience a lack of a cycle with PCOS. So obviously no one has one when you're pregnant. So in that sense, then yes, my PCOS symptoms did go away. But there are tons of other symptoms that people experience aside from, we're in the parking deck. Sorry guys, it got dark. There are tons of other symptoms that people can experience with PCOS that may not go away, like excessive hair growth and things like that, or acne or other things. I just don't have those symptoms, so I don't know if they go away during pregnancy or not. But my period didn't come while I was pregnant, and that's the same thing that happens normally. Would you guys be happy if we had twins?
No.
He said no. No, I mean, well, I'll say this. I would not be unhappy, but twins are just not something that we really want. I give all props to women who carry twins because it seems like a lot more than I want to do. And just the financial strain, I can only imagine what that's like, going from, you know, what would be 3 people in our family to jumping to 5 people and having to double up on a lot of things. I just don't necessarily know if I want 2 kids at one time, like 2 newborn babies at once, but there's nothing against twins either. And if that is what happens in 2 weeks, we find out we're having twins, then so be it, and that's what God wanted for us, and we're okay with that. Do you consume minimal sugar to try to help with TTC? I don't consume a lot of sugar in general, so I'm not a sweets person. I'm much more of a savory girl, but I think that if you are trying to conceive, especially if you have PCOS, cutting sugar is probably something you'd want to think about. Okay, here's a good one, Brandon. Do you ever stay mad at each other long? Do you try to keep it unseen in vlogs?
You're mad.
Yeah. That's what, like, people are gonna be like, that's not true, but we just don't get mad at each other. Like, I have a very low threshold for irritation. Sorry, we were getting on an elevator with a lot of people, but I was saying I have a very low threshold for irritation, so a lot of very normal things that people do irritate me. And if I get mad, it's like very quick, but I don't hold on to anything, and we definitely don't. Like, we never stay mad. But anyway, we're walking in now. Okay.
And I'm going to be assisting Dr. Perlow with the IUI today.
Okay, it's who?
Dr. Perlow.
Dr. McCarthy Keith's not doing it?
Yeah.
Why not? We just found out that my doctor isn't going to be doing the IUI, so I have like mixed feelings about that. I don't know, are you irritated at all? I kind of am. I just wish that I had known. It's a male doctor now, not that I care about that, but it's just like, why isn't my doctor doing it? But whatever, it's gonna be fine. There is the stuff right there. And I guess we'll catch up with you guys when it's over. Any last words?
Nope. All good.
Okay. So we're done. That did not take long at all. We have to wait 10 minutes. There's a timer on it, and then I can get up. And they let Brandon be a part of the procedure, which is really cool too, because he was not a part of the last one. Did you enjoy that?
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah. She just said to start progesterone tomorrow and call in 14 days with a positive test. So I'm happy it's over.
I close my eyes.
I'm just paranoid. This whole thing is like a mind, you know what. I was on such a high earlier, and now I'm just like, I just want it to work. Like, I don't want to come back here and do this over again, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Or I had like a moment of like paranoia and stuff after the IUI, and I think it's just like a natural thing to feel. Like, what if I already ovulated and it's too late? We did the IUI too late, and I know that I didn't, but it's just like a what if kind of thing, like worried that this isn't gonna work.
Gonna be fine. Don't have to worry too much. Think positive thoughts. That's all you can do. Stress yourself out.
I'm not trying to stress, and at this point there's really nothing we can do. So now is the beginning of the 2-week wait, officially. I guess to take my mind off of it, we can answer a few more questions. You want to do that?
Sure.
Okay. Does having to do all of the fertility treatments get discouraging for both of you?
Well, I mean, I tend not to think like that. Like, everybody's situation is unique, you know. This is, you know, the situation that we're in. So, you know, I think the way I look at it is like, you know, is it less than ideal? Yeah, but, you know, you make the most of it. You kind of go through the process, be supportive, and, you know, take it for what it is.
It's discouraging for me. He's a lot more positive than I am, but I also think that we both take different things from this process. I am the one who's physically being, I don't know, I'm the one who physically feels all of the things because I'm the one who has to take the medication. I'm the one who has to go do the IUI. I'm the one who has to take metformin all the time, and it makes me feel sick sometimes. Like, so I feel, so knowing that I have to do all of this is a lot more discouraging, but you just gotta do it if you want a baby, I guess, and you're in my situation. How is Bash's speech therapy going? Saw him counting and saying mama. So, I wanted to answer this question for a while because a lot of you guys have been asking. He has had 2 sessions. He actually was supposed to have one today in about 20 minutes or so, but I had to cancel it obviously because of the IUI. He's only had 2 sessions, which was last Tuesday and the Tuesday before. He started talking though, the week that we went to the Bahamas, I think is really the week that I noticed that he was just saying words. I have not sat down and written out how many words he's had in a while. I know off the top of my head he knows over 25 at this point, and I stopped counting anything after that because I feel like he's fine. A lot of you were right when you said that they would just start speaking on their own and it'll just be like an explosion, and I think that's kind of what happened with him because the speech therapist has not helped him, in my opinion, yet do anything that he wasn't already doing before she started, because he just started in the last 2 weeks. And I contacted the speech therapist when he was 18 months. You guys know I was informing y'all the whole time, but it just took them forever to come and evaluate him, and then it took them forever to tell us that he was in the program officially, and then it took forever for them to find a therapist in our area who would come and do it, and then it took forever for the therapist to finally make the appointment. So that brought us to 2 weeks ago. But the speech is going great, so if that is encouraging for some parents who may have thought their 18-month-old needed to be talking more, Bash is now 21 months and he's doing fine. Since having Bash, how has you and Brandon's relationship been?
Great.
I think so too. It's been great. How long did you try to TTC with Bash before getting help? I think I got off my birth control in January or February of that year. I think it was like 2015 maybe. And by August I still hadn't started my cycle, and so that's when I went to my gynecologist, who then decided to figure out why I wasn't having them, which is when she told me I have PCOS. Then she gave me Clomid, I guess maybe like January to August, without help at all. Usually doctors don't help until you've been trying for a year, but because I wasn't even having a cycle, there was nothing happening at all, so we needed to get help a little bit sooner. So yeah, just January to August with no help. And as soon as I got with my doctor, then she started us with the Clomid. I did 3 rounds of Clomid with her, and that didn't work, so she pushed me over to my specialist where we just were, and we started with her in May, and then I did my first round of Femara with her in July, and it didn't work, and then we added the metformin to it, and I did it again in an IUI in November, and that worked. So the total, it was like 18.5 months, but it was not that long as far as before we got help. It was probably like 7 or 8 months or so. A lot of you guys are asking about my hair because I was on stories. This is from Bellamy Hair, and they do have an Instagram. I'll try to link them below. This is funny. Someone said, how do you stay beautiful? I swear you're flawless. Y'all, this is all an illusion. I wear a lot of makeup on my face, so do not ever feel like I am just like this flawless human being. I wear a lot of makeup. Oh, here's one. Which one handles most of the disciplining with Bash? My husband is a softie. What would you say?
Oh, well, you're at home with him more, so.
Yeah, I'm at home with him during the day, so I handle the bulk of the discipline. But you gotta remember, Brandon is like not home, and Bash isn't awake long enough, I guess, in that period of time when Brandon comes home to really do anything that warrants needing discipline. So usually the learning and the life lessons happen when he's home with me during the day. Do you feel like your marriage isn't 50-50? Sometimes like one spouse does more work? Yeah, sometimes I feel like Brandon does everything and I do nothing. And then sometimes I feel like I'm doing everything and Brandon's not home. So, but I know that he's contributing, he's just not there, so I don't feel it or see it. But I feel like overall we're definitely like a 50-50 couple, don't you think? Yeah, like he works outside of the home, and that's the bulk of the weight that he pulls, and I take care of Bash, and that's my job. And he's very helpful around the house, and sometimes like he'll come home after working a long day and like empty the dishwasher and do all these things, and I'm just like, what did I do all day? Because this is not something you should have to do. But like we both do everything. I don't know, wouldn't you say?
See something, do it.
Yeah. You have a problem though, like as far as like feeling like you're not being appreciated, or like you're doing more than what your spouse is doing. Open that line of communication and tell them, hey, I need more from you, or I feel like you're not doing this or that. Like it won't ever get fixed if you don't express yourself. So yeah, I feel like you just got to tell the other person like how you feel, and hope that they are receptive because they love you. But yeah, so anyway, we're on our way to go get Bash now and head home, and I guess we'll see you guys later. Alright guys, so I am home. Brandon had to go into the office, and Bash had an amazing time over at our friend's house, so he is laying down. Another question that I get a lot is how often does he nap, and he only takes 1 nap a day, and it's usually between like 10:30 and 11 in the morning. So his nap was pushed back today, so he's still sleeping. It is 1 o'clock right now, and I'm happy to report that I have ovulated. I can feel the ovulation cramping happening. So let's just hope that what they did today like they meet, hopefully, because it's officially done. But yeah, I'm gonna end the vlog here. Thank you so much for watching and for all of the kind words that you guys have given us on social media, especially today. A lot of you have reached out to me on my last video, on the trigger video, to say you're praying for us, and on my social media today saying you knew that the IUI was today, and just that you're praying and hoping for the best and baby dust and all those things. And I can't express to you how that makes us feel, having just people who don't really know us in person saying that they're praying for us. It means everything. So I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.